So this is a brief introduction of Exodus. You know, the title in English, Latin, and LXX. Do you remember what LXX is? LXX is a Septuagint. 70 people, they gathered together and translate the Old Testament from Hebrew to Greek. Okay, yeah, in LXX or Latin we say Vulgate. Have you heard a Vulgate or Vulgata? Vulgata? Yeah, Vulgate, it's a Latin Bible. They titled the second book of the Bible as Exodus. Yeah, originally in the Bible, there's no title of the book. So that is a very modern idea. Imagine if you buy a book, but if there is no title, that's so strange, right? If you buy a book, but there's no title, no author's name. Can you imagine? Even you cannot order online. You should put in the title and the author, to make it clear. So you are purchase. But if you buy the book, but there's no title, no author's name, that's strange. But that is the Bible. The title was put by, the later generations to make it clear, which book, And then in the Bible, there's no chapters, no verses, no space, no vowels. But as time goes, we are very, ignorant in Hebrew language and the book of the Bible. So that's why later, scholars, they put the title and chapter number and verse number. And second book is Exodus, but in Hebrew Bible, it's not Exodus. The title in Exodus, in Hebrew Bible, the title is Names. Okay, isn't it strange? The title of Exodus in Hebrew is Names, Shemot. Why is that? That is a Hebrew style of having a title. So in Hebrew literature, they put the first word as the title of the book. Okay, that is a very Hebrew style. But a Greek style or modern day style is a main idea, main content of the Bible, of the book. Okay, two different ways. The Greek style is focused on the main idea, main content of the book. But Hebrew style, they just put the first word as a title of the book. Okay. But another problem here, do you think chapter 1 to 40 is all about Exodus? Going out? No, only the chapters 1 through 18 at least, and then from 19 to 40 they just stayed at Mount Sinai. So, but still, Exodus is a big event, is the main idea. So that's why they put Exodus as a title. But keep in mind, it's not just about Exodus. Okay, more than that. Okay, Hebrew title is a names. Oh, and then can you imagine what's the title of Genesis in Hebrew? Title of Genesis in Hebrew is in the beginning. Okay, in the beginning. And then Exodus is a names, because the first word is a names of the people is like this. And then the Jacob's 70 sons name or mentioned at the beginning of Exodus. Okay. And then as I told you, number 2, Exodus describes two main events, not just Exodus, but Exodus and also covenant. So there's a two main events. First is a rescue is Exodus, and then they have a relationship. We call it covenantal relationship. Covenantal relationship. Do you know why God does not or cannot give up us? Because our relationship is based on the covenant through the Jesus Christ. So, God, cannot give up us. He will lead us to heaven. He loves us forever. His love does not change because our relationship is based on the covenant promise. Okay, God is faithful in keeping his promise, not like humans. So two major things: rescue, or you can say deliverance. Okay, deliverance, in other words, deliverance, and then you can say relationship. But this is a covenantal relationship. Okay, two keywords when it comes to main idea or main events of Exodus. Okay, and then number 3, in Exodus, try to figure out who God is and what he has done in history. In the same way, you should keep that in mind in each book of the entire Bible. In any Bible, a book of the Bible, you need to keep in mind who God is and then what he has done in history. Okay, 2 things we need to keep that in mind. In Genesis and in Exodus, Leviticus, etc. It's all the same. Okay, then let's go to the outline of the book of Exodus. Okay, so first session is like oppression and deliverance. That goes chapter 1 to 15. And then journey to Mount Sinai is 15 to 19, 19 to, and then they made covenant. We call it Sinaitic covenant because there are a lot of covenant in the Bible. Covenant with Adam, Noah, and Abraham, so many, covenant. Later, covenant renewal at Shechem and Moab, and, Joshua and David, so many covenant in the Bible. So because they made a covenant this time on the Sinai, they call it Sinaitic covenant. Okay, and then God gave them instructions for sanctuary. What is Israel's sanctuary in one word? Starts with T. Yeah, tabernacle. So God gave them instructions to build a tabernacle. And then they made a tabernacle here. But at the middle, there are some apostasy, adultery, disobedience. Okay, this is very significant. So they made a covenant with the Lord, and then they got an instruction to build the tabernacle, and they actually did later, but in the middle, they have a very serious sin against God. Okay, this is also applicable in our lives. We are already saved. We have, got a promise from the Lord, but still we have some sin, in our lives.
Kevin, I forgot the word Israel sanctuary, tabernacle.
Tabernacle. Yeah, Israel's sanctuary. Yeah. So each nation, each ethnic group, they have their sanctuary. But in Israel's case, we call it tabernacle. Okay, tabernacle. But later in Solomon's time, there's a temple, Jerusalem temple later. But now it's a tabernacle. Tabernacle is like a simply say tent. Because they move around in the wilderness, they cannot make, with the bricks, right? There is a tent, okay, to move around. Okay, thank you for asking. Okay, this is a brief outline, but it's too complicated. If this is too complicated, you can, make, two parts. One part is like here and here, right? This is the Exodus. You can say the Exodus. This is a making covenant at Sinai. Okay, to make it simple. Okay. Yeah, small details always comes later. You need to make a big, outline first, and then details later. Okay, so here is a 3 steps I made by the main places. This is I told you already, right? The deliverance and making a covenant. And this is I divided into 3 based on the places. Also Arnold also did it in his book. Okay. Okay, so first event is in Egypt, happened in Egypt. Second event happened in the desert. And third, at the Sinai, at Mount Sinai. Okay, so you can have the map in Egypt, in the wilderness or desert, and Mount Sinai. Okay, 3 steps. Okay, let's deep into the first step here. So Israel in Egypt. So the Israelites living in Egypt is a blessing or not a blessing?